Hello, I'm finally doing a Pliny the Elder review. The most classic double IPA, West Coast double IPA from Russian River. You've probably heard of it. I've had this several times, but I just never did a review. I need a bottle opener though, because it's one of the very few double IPAs that's in a 500 liter Euro style bottle. 8% alcohol, and they don't tell you exactly the hops in it, but classic C hops. I think it's big on the Simcoe and the Chinook and Columbus or something. So this is a bottle that's like exactly 2 weeks old, and apparently it should be pronounced Pliny. At least a historian would say it like that, because it comes from Plinius. Plinius is the original Roman version of this person, Pliny the Elder. I had Pliny the Younger on tap, and it was pretty good. But the main thing about Russian River beers is they're just super duper clean. Like, the fermentation profile is very clean, not much coming from the yeast. Really lets the hops and malt shine. And this is looking really pale right now. For some reason I remember it being a little bit darker years ago. I actually had this on tap last week and it looked basically the same. And there are little tiny particulates in there. I don't know if you can see it, but otherwise it's super duper clear. Really nice looking head. And that classic sticky dank berries, like crunch berries, but then also dank like blueberry or grape cannabis strains. There we are. It has a nice pretty big aroma. A little floral, but like no yeast character. No, I mean there shouldn't be phenols, but I'm not getting really any kind of esters. Even less than I get from like Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada, their yeast profile is always just a little bit of like an apricot thing or something. But I'm not really getting that at all. Maybe it's just sort of helping support the berry sort of thing from the Simcoe, which I assume there's Simcoe in here. A very fine, kind of silky texture, and a little bit of that sticky icky. It's a little bit sweet. Very, very, very light crystal malt quality. Just a little bit of that toasty, almost, I don't want to say toffee, but just Cheerios. Cheerios with a little extra on the toast, I guess I'd say. And that head is this beautiful, thick, rich, very white, big soapy bubbles, dense, fantastic looking. When a beer has a head like that, you can kind of tell it's going to have a really nice, silky, sort of creamy thing. This bottle's super cold right now, but I like it really cold. I'm definitely getting plenty of flavors. They don't even say anything. They mainly talk about Pliny the Elder on the label, but they don't use Comic Sans. Or else they use something that's kind of like Comic Sans on their labels. Otherwise, it seems like they haven't really changed them. And it does have a good bitterness. It builds up after the first few sips. It's not in your face, bitter and malty and boozy like a lot of West Coast IPAs. I mean, it's definitely very, very hoppy, but the bitterness is manageable. I was able to drink, I guess I shared a pint of it on tap with someone, and it wasn't difficult at all. But this is pretty different from, I guess, yeah, maybe it's not that much different from their regular IPA, which I'm blanking on. Did a review of it. But that one's all Simcoe focused, but it's really, really pale, and just a little bit drier. There is some sweetness to this one. And then, yeah, now it's getting more spicy and earthy as it gets more bitter. getting more just of earth. I don't want to say dirt, but just that bitter resin, earthy quality. A little bit like some cannabis notes again in there. But it's really good. And like no breweries around here make anything like this. I mean, there are some breweries that make old-fashioned double IPAs, and I don't know, maybe they're similar, but they're not getting... No one's going for such a clean fermentation profile. And like a really old-fashioned hop bill. I guess the malt bill is maybe a little old-fashioned, I'm not sure, but it's still really pale. It's not using a lot of crystal malt. Maybe the closest to this is like Sierra Nevada. They do some clear double IPAs. Maybe those are similar, but obviously not as good. This is really good. It's not blowing my mind. I'm happy to have it, though. I would drink it more if I could get it more easily, for sure. But I probably wouldn't drink it more than a few times a year. Could they really improve on it? Probably not. So in that sense, maybe it deserves, close to a 5 in terms of just being a perfect West Coast double IPA. Giving you intensity, drinkability, cleanness, bitterness. Still packing in some malt character, though there isn't much specialty malt in it. But for me, I'd probably give it like a 4.5. Yeah, hopefully I can get a double dry hop version of this. I split a can with a friend who got it, but that one they used like Citra and Mosaic, so it's a different thing. Maybe that's one that if I could get it and do a review of it, I'd give that a higher score. But I feel like it didn't have the good body and silky body this does. So maybe this is a 4.5 plus. Whatever. Bye.